I want to tell you the hard truth about rental property. Sometimes I feel like rental property gets glamorized by people who feel like it's going to be a way to escape their 9-to-5 jobs, and it truly can be. It truly can be a way for you to escape your 9-to-5, for you to become financially free, a way for you to be able to get passive income, and it truly is all of those things. But the hard truth is it's also not glamorous. It's a lot of work, and you've got to understand that when you purchase a rental property, you are purchasing an asset, but you are also purchasing something that can and will have issues down the road that you will need to fix. And it might be things that you have to fix right away. I'm working on a rental property right now where the tenant called me and said there's about 6 or 7 different things that need to be addressed. There's a leaky pipe, a drain pipe, that actually the pipe has come loose from the inside the wall. The electrical was having some issues where lights were like flickering and going off, and come to find out it had to do with a short in one of the electrical cords. There's the gate outside was broke. The doors were dragging the hardwood floors, and so on and on and on. There are things that you're going to get calls that, sometimes those calls are going to cost you little to no money, but you might have to go and fix something that needs to be fixed. It might cost you very little, but it might cost you your time. And then there are some calls that you're going to get a call at times where it's going to be something big. It's going to be something major, and you're going to have to drop sometimes upwards of $1,000, $2,000, could be more, that you're going to have to drop on fixing an issue. And the thing about it is, I believe that many landlords have gotten a bad rap because they have been labeled slumlords because they had those calls and they maybe put a band-aid over something that needed serious surgery or they, instead of fixing things that needed to be fixed, they said, well, I don't have the money to fix this, I don't have the money to fix that. If you don't have the money to fix problems with rental property, then you don't need to be a landlord. And you need to consider that before you start buying rental property. Do you have the money to fix something that could be $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, whatever? Do you have the money to fix that? If you don't, maybe the first thing you need to do is you need to save the money that you would need to fix a lot of those issues. That might be the thing that you need to do to begin with, to start with, is save that money. Save a 100 here, 100 there. Build up the money that you need in reserves to fix problems, so you're not having to go into credit card debt over a house that needs a lot of work. And I'm going to tell you, I started this channel. One of the reasons I started this channel was to help you not make the same mistakes that I made when I first started. I made mistakes when I first started with rental property. A lot of mistakes that I made that you can avoid as long as you're willing to do the steps that need to be done beforehand, before you purchase that rental property, before you go to a bank and get a loan. Make sure you know what you're getting into. That's all I want to tell you is make sure you know what you're getting into. It's not so much that I'm trying to discourage anybody. I would never discourage anybody from buying rental property or starting a business. But guys, you got to realize anything you do, there are positives and negatives. And working a job, 9-to-5 job, has a lot of perks, a lot of benefits, a lot of positives, but it also has some negatives. And so you got to be willing to, whatever it is, take the positives and the negatives together. So when you're investing in real estate, know that there are going to be things that are going to come up that you're gonna have to deal with. I've had those calls and texts in the middle of the night, and the heat's not working. I need you to come and fix the heat. And a good landlord will go and fix those issues right then and there. That's one of the ways that I learned how to be I feel like I'm a good landlord. And the way that I learned to be a good landlord was by watching my grandpa and my dad, who owned real estate, owned rental properties. They owned a mobile home park growing up. And I watched them, how they dealt with calls. They would get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning. And they didn't say like, okay, we'll fix it, in a week, or we'll fix it. Most of the time they dropped, my dad would throw some clothes on. He would come and get me out of the bed and say, hey, Josh, I need you to come with me. I need you to come, and we've got to fix such and such on the rental property. And so that's how I learned how to be a good landlord. Was you don't wait. You don't make somebody live in a property that is not where it needs to be. You fix things that need to be fixed right then and right there. So just think about those things as you're maybe thinking about purchasing real estate, purchasing rental property. Think about those things beforehand. Don't think I'm going to get into this and I'm not going to have to deal with, all these different issues. You will have to deal with them. You will have to make sure you have the money saved, or, you might have to go into some debt with a credit card if you're not willing to save the money first. But you've got to be willing to do those things. And so if that's something that you're willing to do, then I think, buying rental property and investing in it's a good thing. And you're going to have to deal with people with real estate. It ain't just about fixing a leaky pipe, or, a roof or whatever. You might have to deal with people that say like, hey, I don't have the rent this month, moving out or whatever. You got to be willing to deal with people. And so, like I said, if you're willing to do all that, then I highly recommend, buying real estate, buying rental properties, and getting involved with it. But if not, then you maybe ought to think about a different avenue to go down. So I hope this helps, and make sure you like, subscribe, and tune back in for the next one, because I'm gonna keep on dropping wisdom and helpful things for you that I've learned over the years. I think it's going to be a help to you, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.